What's going on, guys? We've got some more FMX versus ATV Legends today. This video took a bit of work to get through since I learned as the, well, we'll start off with the big whip here with a big line we found on the Rawlings farm track. This is going to be the theme for this video today. A lot of work went into this to try and get all these whips together. What I did learn is that the 252 stroke feels slightly faster and it feels like they're way easier to throw around in the air. And as we're about to see, you can do some way too big of tricks, and it seems like depending on where they put the ramps in this, they soften up the ground and make it so you don't explode when you hit it. So yeah, we're gonna roll into this with another jump. We're tossing the 250 around. You got a big old back whip to fakie, and I think we're gonna hit up some lines with the 450 again in a little bit, but just hit 53 miles an hour in reverse, so we're setting new records with this. Realism 100, obviously. And yeah, the theme of this is as you progress through the career, which takes a whole lot of time to progress through the career. Slowly stuff starts to get added to the farm. I still wish there was an actual freestyle track, since this is the longest line I could string together for this video. And as you may notice, it's kind of disjointed and there really isn't... things don't really flow into each other. It's like you look around for a while, you find one jump and one line to hit, and then that's it, and you go around look for the next one. It's not like there's no flowy freestyle section that I've been able to find yet, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe you have to complete the career to unlock all kinds of ramps to get a line that flows, but I haven't been able to find that right now. Just kind of unfortunate, but we'll see. I hope they add some actual freestyle tracks to the game that have more thought put into them, since I know with All Out they had the Slash Battleground, which is a really short one. There wasn't like, oh, this is a cool line. Back seat standing backflip, or roll into it standing on the seat, backflip it, and then cut it, land it straight to hydroplaning, and then we're about to ride the bike out like a jet ski afterwards. But yeah, beyond that, it doesn't seem like they put as much thought into freestyle in this as like there wasn't back in Reflex, because I know Reflex had like Ironworks, Boilermaker, and like a handful of other, like there's the Dogfighters and the Dover Street Pier. And a bunch of really well thought out freestyle tracks and Reflex that definitely is lacking in this game, and I hope they add some, since that's what I had a lot of fun with, and I actually had some fun making this video and finding some big lines to hit. Like the closest thing I could find to a Reflex freeride line was that one little jump right there. There's not a bunch of big jumps like that flow and feed into each other I could find. There's little stuff like this step up the cliff to flat. That's there. And we're coming back to the big jump now for another big line with the 450. But I wish they had more to this game. I hope they add modding tools at some point and support the modding community, since that's where I think a lot of content can come from to make up for some of the stuff that they might be lacking. Overall, I think the game's still really good. The whips take there we go, another backflip to fakie. There's something weird about like every MX versus ATV game where if you choose to land your trick completely backwards, something just breaks with the game's physics and it'll let you land fakie. But yeah, they were sending a double front flip to flat over the house, which is what I was getting at, where it seems like depending on where they put the ramps, they soften up the ground for you so you don't explode when you hit the ground. Another trick sent to flat. But yeah, we're doing as many big lines as we can. Hopefully I'll finish the career soon and unlock more stuff in the farm. I hope more stuff keeps popping up, since as far as I've gotten in the career, we've got a few jumps at the house, we've got a jump over the garage, we've got a few more ramps in this area, but nothing too crazy. It's still no big flowy lines that I think are missing. As far as freestyle in the game goes, this seems to be the best it's gonna get. I'll have to poke around the Colorado freeride map quite a bit more and see if I can find something. We'll probably do another video in the near future checking out the sand dunes at Bighorn again in Legends this time, and we'll see how that goes. But this is the most I was able to do. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. We've got a few more minutes of clips to roll out. We're messing around with the whips in this game, since a lot of people seem to get very angry about how the in-air controls work. I would say they just take a lot of getting used to. I don't mind them now that I've played the game for a bit. I think there's a lot of potential here, and I think this might, other than I guess Reflex, because Reflex had all the custom tracks and stuff. If we ignore the custom tracks, this might be my favorite game they've made so far. Beyond Reflex had better freestyle stuff, which is what I like playing, but I think there's more potential in this game than there was in Reflex. The graphics are better, the tracks are a lot better, the racing I think is better, the bike seems to handle slightly more predictably than reflex. Maybe I'm gonna get crucified for saying that. I do think there's a lot of potential here. I never got a copy of the game early. I had to pay full price for it because I am too washed up to get any insider information, which is why all my videos are later than everybody else, because I don't get the inside info on it, but I do think there's a lot of potential with the game, and I would definitely think it's at minimum worth at least trying for $35. There's a lot of DLC for it, but like the whips in this, it's not like Reflex where you can casually fling the sticks forward and now your bike's going all ways from sideways. The best way I could think of describing it, somebody else said, is the bikes are very heavy, but once you get them moving, as we've seen with a couple double flips and some crazy lines, they will stay moving, and you can happily whip out 720s and stuff like that. Once you get it moving, it stays moving. It's just not as easy to get moving. Whereas with Reflex, you could flick the bike incredibly fast in Reflex, but you'd eventually like hit a brick wall and you'd stop. Whereas this, once you get going, you'll just keep going. It's like you can, depending what you're doing, like as we're seeing with some of these front flip combos, you can it's almost like playing a BMX game or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater at some points. But as far as like the whipping and all that goes, it's a lot more difficult than it was in the past, but I feel like at the end you end up with more control over it. You just gotta kind of feather the sticks around and mess around with the gas and the brake while you're in the air to get everything to behave the way you might want it to. You can do it. It took me a lot of finagling with it to start learning it, because it's a very, very different thing. It's like, when you come into this game, I would almost say you've gotta leave whatever you're thinking, behind and like relearn how to play the game once you come into this, since it's very, very different. And there we go, got a backflip in, and then I guess you just send it off to flat because there's nowhere to land over there, which is the unfortunate part about so much of this game, is there's just nowhere to land. It's lots of jumping to flat. We got a pretty good body flip to Superman into the freestyle area here, and we're gonna try and land something else, I believe, as we're running out of time in the video. Hopefully you guys like this. If you want to see other stuff, let me know in the comments. I could explore the other free ride maps, do something similar. That's what I got for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later.